CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
A warm September Sunday in Cincinnati, moments away from the opening kick. Let's bring in the third member of our crew. Downstairs to Evan Washburn.
Hawaiian crowd noise is often near the top of the list. Challenges faced by a young quarterback making his first start on the road. So to help Trevor Siemian prepare, Gary Kubiak piped in crowd noise at practice. That's customary, but not just at the line of scrimmage, also in the huddle to make calls difficult. But it may be his personality that he really leans on. Everybody, including Von Miller, says it's his calm demeanor that separates Siemian. He even went as far as to say he's like Peyton Manning in that confidence department, guys. High praise from Von Miller.
Evan, no doubt. We walked away from our meeting with Siemian very impressed with his whole approach. He just doesn't seem the least bit rattled by what's happening right now.
Yeah, I think the key for Siemian is that he didn't have the all-star college career. So he knows the struggles of being a quarterback at a high level. So he knows that this will be a challenge, though, on the road today. First time, he's 2-0 at home, but this is a different story.
Bengals won the toss. They've deferred. We're underway from the jungle, Paul Brown Stadium. Cody Latimer is going to take it out of the end zone for Denver. And Latimer gets wrapped up. They'll mark him down just short of the 14 by Nick Vigil, along with Burkhead leading the charge for Cincinnati. And here is Trevor Siemian, the 7th-round draft pick out of Northwestern, and an opportunity of a lifetime starting for the defending Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, the elephant in the room in our meetings yesterday with Siemian obviously had to do with the red zone. Today, he says he'll give Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders the chances they want when they get close to the end zone.
They'll open up with 2 tight ends, and this crowd will try to get inside Siemian's head early. Siemian, protection is there, too high. Trying to get Sanders. First play from scrimmage, and the high throw, incomplete. Denver's offense. Ty Sambrailo seeing his first action of the season, replacing the injured Donald Stevenson today. Stevenson out with a calf injury. No Virgil Green, so it will be Phillips and Jeff Hireman making his NFL debut. He's in his second year from Ohio State, but missed all of last season with a torn ACL. They're going to throw it on second down. This time, Siemian makes the connection. Sanders gets slammed down on the play by George Iloka, and they pick up 9 yards, so it's 3rd and short now for Denver.
You can see what the Bengals' plan is against Sanders. That time they had Iloka in a zone coverage taking the short flat route, but look at the tight spiral by Siemian. This is something that has impressed Emmanuel Sanders last year in pregame warmups. Good route stopping before he gets to the safety.
Nickel package here for Cincinnati. It's Josh Shaw. C.J. Anderson has been terrific through the first 2 weeks on the ground. Norwood, the motion man. Shotgun for Siemian. Trying to convert on 3rd down. Deflected. In the area of Norwood, Dunlap getting pressure. And Denver will punt a 3-and-out.
Carlos Dunlap does that a lot. He's 6'6", real long arms. He got in the throwing lane that time, but you know, that kickoff return decision by Latimer really put Siemian in a tough spot there. Cost him 11 yards. The ball would have come out to the 25 instead of the 14.
So it'll be the Syracuse product. Rookie Riley Dixon punting to Adam Jones standing at his own 28-yard line. High punt from Dixon. Jones ranging towards the sideline. Fair catch called for, and the momentum carried him out of bounds. 50-yard punt. Line of scrimmage will be the 26 for Cincinnati to open up. A 24-16 loss in Pittsburgh. And let's face it, they have been one-dimensional, leaning on the pass game and not establishing the ground game through 2 weeks.
Yeah, but they promised us yesterday. Andy told us, hey, the game plan is for the Bengals to run the ball and stick with the run. Allow this massive offensive line to control that line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the way they describe it, Dan, they've had 1 missed assignment on certain running plays. Everybody's got to be on the same page. It hasn't been a total breakdown. Jeremy Hill straight ahead, north-south, 4 yards on 1st down. Starting lineups for Cincinnati on offense. Whitworth, one of the veterans and the leaders of this team. He felt strongly that the running game would get turned around against this Denver defense. And Jeremy Hill, The numbers just have not been there. 11 carries, 22 yards last week for Hill. Giovanni Bernard was a major factor in the passing game. Bernard finished with 9 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown. Extra offensive lineman, that's 6. Dalton throws, and the quick hitter. A.J. Green limited last week against Pittsburgh. 2 catches, 38 yards. They get him involved early. It's a 9-yard pickup.
Yeah, really a sharp route by A.J. Green against Harris. Pushes Harris to the side, knows what he needs for the first down. It's exactly where Dalton put the ball. Good spin up the field to pick up extra yardage.
And congratulations to Green and his wife Miranda. They welcomed their son Easton Ace Green on Wednesday. 36 hours of labor, Dan.
Wow. Thanks. Yeah. No thanks.
First and 10 with 12:45 to go in the first. Handed off to Hill. Good hole, and Hill slashes through it. He spun down, an 8-yard pickup. Whitworth and Bowling on that left side of the line. Defensively for Denver, they're just fantastic on this side of the ball. Derek Wolfe, University of Cincinnati product, grew up about 4 hours from here in Lipson, Ohio. Shaquille Barrett stepping in for DeMarcus Ware. We'll see Shane Ray as well. And in the secondary, Aqib Talib. 46-yard interception return for a touchdown last week, the 9th of his career. Rod Woodson, number 1 all-time with 12. So second and 2. Keep it on the ground. Hill, big hole, Jeremy Hill, down the sideline. Hill stumbling inside the 5. He nearly broke it. Darian Stewart just saved a touchdown for Denver. 50-yard rip.
Bengals come in with an extra offensive tackle. Here's Jake Fisher here, and that's exactly where they're going to run. They seal the inside, a good block on the pull by Cedric Obwahi, and down the sideline Hill goes and just gets tripped up, or it would have been in the end zone. Great start offensively for this Bengal offense, running the ball right at the Broncos.
Cincinnati has it at the 3, first and goal. They have Croft and Hewitt off the line, and the play is whistled in. We'll hear from John Parry. We won't. It's a timeout. Cincinnati uses it at the 11:10 mark.
Timeout, Cincinnati.
Well, there's John. Check it in.
Now, this is where the Bengals really struggled last week against the Steelers. Got down to the 1-yard line and got stuffed on first down. Had to throw the ball on second and third down, and controversial non-catch in the back of the end zone by C.J. Uzama that was not reviewed, that could have been reviewed and given the Bengals a touchdown in a game they really needed it.
Well, Dan, this is all you need to know. They averaged 51.5 yards rushing through the first 2 games. That run by Hill was 50. He covered the entire number in 1 snap.
Really a creative play designed by Ken Zampese, bringing in the extra tight end as an offensive tackle and pulling the offside tackle.
And they do it again with Jake Fisher. Cincinnati looking to get on the board. Fisher is the motion man. Back set up in the eye. Handed off straight ahead. Touchdown. Jeremy Hill bulldozes in.
Yeah, really just straight power, straight up the middle. Fisher goes 305 pounds, and fullback Brian Hewitt in the game. Hewitt kicks out there, and Hill takes care of the rest, running over Aqib Talib and getting into the end zone with ease.
Well, that was easy. Gary Kubiak's team in a hole. And Cincinnati doing exactly what they set out to do. Establish the run early, which is something they've been unable to do through the first 2 weeks. Extra point is added by Nugent. Cincinnati had 412 yards of offense last week against Pittsburgh, but 366 came through the air. The exact opposite on the opening drive, and it was all Jeremy Hill in the jungle. 5 plays, 74 yards. It took 2 minutes and 50 seconds. The Hill 3-yard touchdown run. Marvin Lewis said, "We'd like to think we have an advantage with our size up front. We've got to use our strength." They did on the opening possession.
Yeah, really a good job of attacking this Bronco defense is not as big. They're fast and quick and strong, but not the size of this Bengal offense.
Booming kick from Nugent. Latimer takes a knee, and Denver will have it at the 25. Let's check out our Fouts focus on that touchdown run.
Well, a really good job of hitting where they're not. Look at this gap here, first of all. And then Zeitler comes down. He comes down. Then Croft. Then you got the lead right up the middle. There's a huge hole there before the ball is even snapped. That's about as easy a walk-in touchdown as you're going to see on the goal line.
7-0 lead for Cincinnati. This time Simeon takes over at the 25-yard line. Anderson in the backfield. They threw on 3 downs to open. They run on first down here, and he is stacked up. No gain on the play for Denver. Defensively for Cincinnati, Carlos Dunlap had 3 sacks the last time these two teams met at the end of the 2015 season. Vincent Ray continues to step in for Vontaze Burfict serving the final game of his 3-game suspension. He'll return next week. And Dre Kirkpatrick had a pick last week of Ben Roethlisberger. First interception for Kirkpatrick since December of 2014. On second down. Good cut there by C.J. Anderson. 7-yard pickup. Just this offensive system. Last year, it was definitely a transition year, an amalgam for Gary Kubiak, trying to work in things with Peyton Manning. This year, it's all Kubiak system.
Yeah, very little drama this year, except if you talk about a quarterback that's only played 2 games, but C.J. Anderson, a perfect fit for this offense. He showed that time a good patience, letting that play develop in front of him.
The nickel for Cincinnati, it's Darquez Denard. Fake it on a 3rd and 3. Simeon steps up. Simeon will run and dives for the first down. That's a 4-yard gain for Simeon, who was a high school baseball star and then gave it up his senior year after playing third base, shortstop, corner outfield positions, realized that football was his future.
Well, he's got good pocket presence. He feels the pressure coming from around the outside, and then the decision, knowing he needs to go head first to pick up the first down and willing to do so.
Had an ACL injury his senior year at Northwestern, so just getting back physically was his first focus, and then the name started to pick up steam in draft circles. Simeon in some trouble, gets out of it. Nice mobility, Simeon on the move, flag is down as he threw it in the direction of Sanders, penalty marker at the 46.
I think you're going to get Adam Jones for holding in the secondary, so another first down for the Broncos.
Defense number 24. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
He's working against Emmanuel Sanders. Bump and run here. Forces Sanders to go to the inside. And now when Sanders gives him that little move, you can see the grab by Adam Jones. And the flag comes shortly thereafter.
We asked Sanders about Adam Jones. He said he's their version of Aqib Talib. He brings that physical edge to their defense. Jordan Norwood sets up in the backfield, and Norwood gets the carry. The veteran wide receiver is slammed down by Vincent Ray. Norwood, who's played with Philadelphia, Cleveland, now in his 7th year in the NFL, played 1 year of basketball at Penn State, and that's no gain for Norwood. So 2nd and 10 for Denver. The way Simeon releases the ball, is there anybody in the league you would compare that to, the way he gets rid of it?
Well, he holds the ball high like Aaron Rodgers does, has that quick release. That's hard to compare anybody to the great Aaron Rodgers, but at least that part of the game, I see some similarities.
Phillips, the motion man, former San Diego Charger, playing tight end. Off the play action, Emmanuel Sanders, another target for Sanders, and now they're in Cincinnati territory on the 19-yard hookup from Simeon.
Well, and it's a long pass down the field. That ought to make Bronco fans happy. This isn't a dink and dunk pass either. This ball well-timed to Sanders. There you see the high release. And the ball comes out perfectly. Of course, you don't see any Bengals in the picture. The key to a good pass often is that pass protection.
Simeon has attempted only 2 passes that have traveled 20 or more yards. A juggle and a drop. Sanders. That allowed Sean Williams to take a free lick at Sanders. Incomplete. With NFL Game Pass, watch the games you missed with condensed games in 45 minutes or the full broadcast version. Start a free trial today at NFL.com/Game Pass. So those 2 passes for Simeon that have traveled over 20 yards. That's the fewest in the league through 2 weeks.
He's targeting Emmanuel Sanders. Nothing so far in the direction of Demaryius Thomas.
2nd and 10 inside the Cincinnati 40. Bengals have a 7-0 lead. C.J. Anderson, who had lost his footing. He described himself as a downhill, one-cut runner. We asked him about the system. He said, yeah, you adjust to the system. It took him 8 or 9 games last season to adapt to Kubiak's offense, and a little slip of the right foot, then the left foot.
And that happens often when you're running through the painted logos on some of these NFL fields, especially on artificial surface. That right foot could not dig in the orange paint.
8th play of the drive, 3rd and 11 for Denver. 4 receivers set. Sanders goes in motion. Simeon on 3rd and long. A flag is thrown, and this play whistled dead. Another flag as Simeon took a hit. So the first flag came at the 42, and then the other flag came in the pocket.
It looked like Deron Smith and Carlos Dansby put the shot on Simeon after he got this ball loose.
Ball start. Offense. The play was dead. Personal foul. Defense. By rule, the 15-yard penalty will be enforced. 1st and 10.
Oh, that's a crusher. They just played through the whistle.
Well, it's literally a crusher. 2 penalties on this series against the Bengals are keeping drives alive. Here's the shot. From the outside is Smith, and then on the far side is Dansby. And that's a case where the players could not hear the whistle because the crowd is so loud trying to help the Bengal defense and hinder Trevor Siemian.
Simeon took a shot from Mike Adams last week in that victory over Indianapolis. High-low from Dansby and Smith. So they set it up at the 25 and a fresh set of downs for Denver to work with. 7:07 to go in the first. Simeon, 2 out of 5, 28 yards. Hireman, the motion man. Simeon gets rid of it quickly, trying to get Sanders out in space. Gets around 1 man, and Sanders hit from the side, and he's got a first down. It's a 10-yard pickup for Emmanuel Sanders.
And a couple of things on this. There's a big cushion given by Adam Jones. Good read by Simeon. How about this move right here? Fakes to the sideline, cuts it up inside of Adam Jones. Jones trying with an arm tackle, not good enough. First down for Denver. And when are they going to get involved? Number 88, Demaryius Thomas.
Drive continues, flag down. Simeon looking downfield. Simeon buying time, and he floats it out of bounds. Penalty marker thrown at the 15-yard line. Margus Hunt with the pressure on Simeon.
Illegal shift. Motion man was not set. 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
So back it up 5 yards for Denver. 6:23 to play in the first quarter.
We talked about the problems that the Bengals have had in the red zone in the first 2 games of the season. It hasn't been very good for the Broncos offensively either.
Well, last week, Paul Gunther's defensive crew had some problems dealing with Ben Roethlisberger, who had 2 red zone touchdowns. 5 receivers set. It's a 1st and 15. Simeon tosses to the sideline. Thomas stumbles and picks up the yards they lost on the penalty. And then some, a 6-yard gain for Thomas off the feed from Simeon.
There's something that offensive coordinator Rick Dennison and head coach Gary Kubiak have seen in the film study that tells them they want to attack Adam Jones this afternoon. Every pass that's been completed by Simeon has been in the direction of number 24.
They're now set up inside the Cincinnati 15. Denver trails 7-0. 5:45 and counting left in the opening quarter. Working out of the gun. Simeon will fire underneath. catch and trying to curl is Thomas. He's hit right away at the 10. They'll mark him just inside it. Tackle made by Carlos Dansby. That's a 5-yard pickup, and it's 3rd down for Denver.
7 passes so far, make it 8 now against just 5 runs for the Broncos. A little bit out of character for Kubiak's style.
Broncos have converted just under 48% of their 3rd downs in the first 2 weeks. This is a 3rd and 4 for Denver. 11th play of the drive. Shotgun. Simeon gets him out of trouble and throws it too high for Demaryius Thomas with a flag down at the 4. In a matchup with Dre Kirkpatrick. And some words exchanged between the two. We'll wait on the
Prior to the
penalty.
pass, legal contact, defense number 27. Automatic first down.
Well, Kirkpatrick working against Demaryius Thomas. That looked like it was within the 5-yard limit that you can make contact with a wide receiver. Officials judging that it was just beyond.
So Denver benefiting from Cincinnati mistakes on this drive.
It's 3 penalties against the Bengal defense.
Hey, look out there!
That one's really a killer because it gives them 1st and goal.
From the 5. Broncos looking for the equalizer. Simeon, moving pocket, throws on the run, incomplete. Emmanuel Sanders, the intended target. Well, we asked Gary Kubiak about Simeon. He said, yeah, he's made some poor decisions, but he's handled himself incredibly well. He does a good job at the line of scrimmage. Evan mentioned the noise that they practiced with this week in anticipation of his first road game. Simeon so far is 5 of 9 for 49 yards in this first quarter.
And another way to help Simeon with the crowd noise is the Broncos prefer to be under center with their quarterback. So that makes the communication for the Bronco offense a lot easier. But this time, back in the shotgun.
6 targets for Sanders. Play clock down to 1. Handoff. Anderson keeps the legs churning, and he's dropped after picking up 3 yards. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 2. Sean Williams in on the stop for Cincinnati.
And in talking to Anderson yesterday, I asked him, are you right-handed or left-handed? He says, I'm right-handed. I said, well, does that mean your dominant side is your right side? He said, yeah, kind of, but I like running left. Well, I think part of the running left is behind Russell Okung.
He said there's been tremendous communication between the two. Okung has emerged as an early leader in his first season with the Broncos. 13th play of the drive. Denver looking to get on the board. Simeon from the gun. Fires. End zone. Incomplete. There were 2 men there, and he couldn't hit either of them. Norwood or Latimer. Field goal unit coming on.
Yeah, this ball whizzed right by number 11, Norwood, and Latimer right behind him. You can see that just a little bit of a grab right there by Denard. Ball is tipped just barely by Norwood, or Latimer might have had a shot at making that catch.
20-yard field goal attempt for McManus. Chip shot, he's 4 of 5 this season with a long of 43, career long of 57, and McManus drills it. Denver trails Cincinnati 7-3. Just over 4 minutes to go. Opening quarter, Paul Brown Stadium.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by the all-new Honda Ridgeline for truck tough things and everyday things.
Long drive for Gary Kubiak's offense. 14 plays, 73 yards. It took 7 minutes and 2 seconds. Field goal for McManus. Well, prior to the game, Brandon Marshall, linebacker for the Denver Broncos, he has continued to kneel during the national anthem. His teammate TJ Ward raising his right arm up during the anthem as well. We've seen reaction locally as well in Cincinnati on Friday night. One of the high schools playing a game, and the entire team, just about, other than 2 or 3 players, decided to kneel during the anthem. Happened out in Oakland with Colin Kaepernick, actually at a high school game, and the entire team doing the same. McManus kicks it off and trying to place it, forcing Cincinnati to return. It's Rex Burkhead. And he's driven towards the sideline, out of bounds with a flag down. Play was over. Burkhead had already been hit. Complete Bibbs.
Kicking team number 35. 15-yard penalty to the end of the run. 1st and 10. Timeout on the field.
It is Bibbs, and it's an extra 15 yards for Andy Dalton to work with on this next possession. Cincinnati's got a 7-3 lead on Denver. First quarter action continues from Ohio. Your weekend starts on Thursday when the Miami Dolphins take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. So it'll be a quick turnaround for the Bengals. They lead Denver 7-3 and open up at their own 42-yard line. Ground game to Jeremy Hill. That's a 3-yard pickup for Hill, met by Brandon Marshall.
It was an impressive opening drive for the Bengals. Only pass was his completion for 9 yards to A.J. Green. 50 yards on the run by Jeremy Hill sets up this easy touchdown plunge. An absolutely perfect start for Marvin Lewis and the Bengals, featuring the running game.
Well, Coach Lewis talking about how all three phases had to improve. Field position was a huge issue against Pittsburgh last week, and they couldn't overcome it. Up the middle, Jeremy Hill looks like a different guy. 6-yard gain for Hill. He's got underrated speed, as we saw on that 50-yard run. Hill's got good size, and they mix and match with him and Giovanni Bernard, but so far it's been exclusively Hill.
The offensive line doing a great job of opening holes, but also pushing the Denver defense back off the line of scrimmage. No penetration at all so far for the Broncos.
Last meeting, December 28th last year. It was week 16, an overtime win for Denver, 20-17. Andy Dalton does it himself, and that spot is favorable, and it should be enough for a first down. Dalton did not play in that game, the last meeting between these two teams. It was A.J. McCarron who stepped in, and Cincinnati nearly got the win. Denver clinched a playoff spot with that victory. Brock Osweiler had 299 yards. McManus had a 37-yard field goal to win it.
Bengals also had a different offensive coordinator, Hugh Jackson. Ken Zampese is the new one now.
But all part of that same coaching tree, so the philosophy hasn't changed. Hand it off. Hill quickly met by Billy Wynn for no gain on the play.
That's a really good job by Billy Wynn, because the Bengals brought in Jake Fisher as an extra offensive lineman, and they went with an unbalanced line, and all Wynn did was get inside of the block of Andrew Whitworth, who normally plays left tackle. That time he was playing right tackle.
Injured Bronco on the field. They are checking him out. We'll have the update for you when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life. And by Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Injured Bronco was T.J. Ward, the two-time Pro Bowler, up on his feet and walks off on his own power.
Well, watch left side of the screen. He's going to come in low on Jeremy Hill, but runs into his own teammate, Billy Wynn, at 300 pounds. You add that to Hill's 235, and they're checking out T.J. Ward on the sidelines. One of Wade Phillips' favorite players. He says he's one of those guys that plays with his hair on fire, meaning he's all over the field. And a tremendous leader by example for the Broncos.
And Coach Phillips sends in Will Parks, rookie out of Arizona, to step in for Ward. 6th-round draft pick. 2nd and 10 for Cincinnati. A 5-receiver set for Dalton. Quick release. And Dalton connects. Ball was lodged loose. A.J. Green, it's ruled incomplete. And he took a major shot from Aqib Talib.
A real good job by Talib. He's got great instincts and feel for different routes. This is a short route to Green. And watch as he's looking in the backfield, sees the ball coming, lets his receiver go to the outside, and then delivers the big hit. That knocks the ball free.
And Talib brings good size at 6'1", 205. A.J. Green checks in at 6'4", 210. Dime package for Denver. And a 3rd and 10 for Cincinnati. Dalton stands tall in the pocket, throws it to Tyler Boyd, extending but short of a first down. Shiloh Kao, who was re-signed earlier this week after the injury to Justin Simmons at safety, makes the stop. And Cincinnati will punt in the waning moments of this opening quarter. And the return man is Kao, who remains on the field after making that tackle. Kevin Huber, the Cincinnati product, will kick it. High punt. Kao settles under it, and a fair catch called for it after the 33-yard punt by Huber. Denver's offense put up 34 points in the victory over Indianapolis last week. They've also gotten help from their defense through the first 2 games as well. Tomorrow, see why Kevin Can Wait is now TV's #1 new comedy. Kevin James is back tomorrow after The Big Bang Theory, only CBS. 2 drives for the Denver Broncos, 3 and out on the first possession. The second one was aided by Cincinnati's mistakes on defense. 3 penalties led to 3 of those first downs for the Broncos. Pinned deep in their own territory at the 9. Simeon gets rid of it over the middle. Anderson unable to haul it in. Raymel Luga was lurking for Cincinnati.
Yeah, the last couple of passes thrown by Simeon have been just a little bit off. This ball is thrown behind C.J. Anderson. Anderson trying to make a one-handed catch here. And again, it's another hit on the young quarterback. This time Dunlap comes around the corner against Zambrilo.
They've allowed only 3 sacks so far this season, but that doesn't mean Simeon hasn't been hit, and hit hard. 44 seconds to go in the first. A check at the line of scrimmage with Janovich in front of Anderson. Crowd building steam. And the handoff to Anderson leads to nothing but a penalty marker at the 11. Now Luga in on that stop. So John Perry and his crew, who also worked the Steelers-Bengals wild card game back in January, back here at Paul Brown Stadium. This one's going to work against Denver.
Personal foul, offense, number 73, leg whip, penalties decline, 3rd down.
And that's Russell Okung, who has just gone to the Denver sideline. Also, Sean Williams was hurt on that play. He's replaced by Deron Smith for Cincinnati. So Schofield has now shifted to the left side, playing tackle for Denver. He was at right guard. 17 seconds to go in the first. Simeon gets rid of it. Glances off the hand of John Phillips. Incomplete. No Virgil Green today, out with a calf injury. So it's Phillips and Hireman getting the snaps at tight end.
But another pass that's thrown behind a receiver. You can see the adjustment that Phillips tries to make as he gets behind Dansby. But right now, Simeon having trouble being accurate.
Simeon is under 50%, 5 of 12 for 49 yards. Cincinnati should have excellent field position. Riley Dixon to punt it out of his own end zone. Adam Jones moves forward. Brings it in at the 46. Jones makes a cut and he's spun down. Loses the football. Denver recovers it. Adam Jones coughs it up. Shiloh Kao on special teams. That's why he was brought back. Depth at safety and his prowess as part of that special teams unit. He was hit by Anderson.
Jones claiming that his knee was down before the ball came out.
There's the right knee. The question is whether or not that ball was moving, and Cincinnati has been through this act before, including last week.
And a heartbreaking decision by the officials in Pittsburgh.
That was a Boyd fumble that was ruled a fumble after the NFL decided they didn't have enough evidence to overturn it. We'll see on this one. We'll get the call from John Parry after he took a look.
The play, the ruling on the field stands. 1st and 10, Denver.
Adam Jones was making the case that he got his knee down. In fact, he's savvy. He sensed the hit was coming and tried to get the knee down.
Yeah, surrounded by Broncos. Zaire Anderson with the hit right on the ball. Simultaneous with his knee touching the ground. It's one of those bang-bang plays that league says that they will go with the call on the field in that case, as they did that time.
So we start the second quarter, and Denver opens up in Cincinnati territory after the second career loss fumble by Adam Jones. First one since 2008. Running play, C.J. Anderson. Denver has not been able to establish it. It's a 1-yard pickup as Anderson lost his hat on the play. Let's go downstairs to Evan.
Well, and let's update you guys on some injuries. We saw T.J. Ward go down. He's dealing with a neck injury. Official word is questionable. He has his helmet. Always a good sign. More concerning appears to be Russell Okung. Looks like a lower back injury. He's not out there right now. He's still working with athletic trainers. And safety Sean Williams for the Bengals. It's a knee, questionable return.
All right, thank you, Evan. So the change is there. We mentioned Schofield shifts to the left. Toss to the outside. Anderson gets hit hard by Vincent Ray, secures the football, and picks up 4 yards. And another injured
Vincent
Bengal.
Ray.
It's Ray after the hit. He took the brunt of it.
Anderson slow to get up as well. Anderson trying to split both Ray and Adam Jones here.
Yeah, helmet-to-helmet hit from Vincent Ray, who has stepped in for Vontaze Burfict at that outside linebacker position. Medical staff is out checking on Vincent Ray. Vincent Ray got up on his own, and Ray walked over to the Cincinnati sideline. He's been one of the leaders of this Cincinnati team. Versatile, made his name first on the practice squad, then on special teams. They are going through the concussion protocol right now, answering a series of questions. It was helmet to helmet with C.J. Anderson. Nick Vigil has stepped in to replace Ray. Number 59 is a rookie out of Utah State, a third-round draft pick. Meanwhile, Denver faces a 3rd and 5. First minute of action in the second quarter and a 7-3 lead for Cincinnati. Phillips goes in motion. Simeon, deep drop. Deep ball, Simeon looking for it all. He drops it in the bucket. Emmanuel Sanders, touchdown Broncos. 41 yards, perfectly thrown by Simeon.
Yeah, that deep drop allowed Sanders to get way down the field. It's a blitz by the Bengals. Man-to-man coverage on the outside. And guess who gets burned again today? Adam Jones off to a horrible start. The fumble gave the Broncos the ball in Bengal territory, and Simeon and Sanders take care of the rest.
Extra point, McManus. Big answer by Denver, taking advantage of the turnover and then the deep ball. Sanders wanted the ball more. He's getting it today. Simeon perfectly executed. The Broncos go in front on the road in Cincy.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by AutoTrader. Find your perfect new, used, or certified car on AutoTrader. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by Align Probiotic. Live 24/7 with Align.
Fumble on the punt return set things up. Adam Jones coughed it up. Denver goes 3 plays, 46 yards. The 41-yard touchdown pass, Simeon to Emmanuel Sanders. And it was Jones who got beat on the play. McManus, the drop in at the 1. Burkhead slammed down as he crossed the 20-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown pass and Fouts focus on Trevor Simeon.
Well, it was a 3rd and 5, and the Bengals decide that they're going to blitz. So that means man-to-man on the outside against an aggressive defensive back in Adam Jones. Double moves are very effective. But now this is just pure speed as he runs away from Jones at the goal line. And Simeon drops it in the bucket and then talks to his offensive lineman, congratulates them as much as he would Sanders.
TJ Ward is back in for Denver. Croft and Hewitt. And some trickery. LaFell. It fooled no one. Jared Crick, the former Houston Texan, holding his ground. It's a loss of 2 on the play. Tonight on CBS, the agents of NCIS Los Angeles start the new season on a new night. Don't miss LL Cool J and Chris O'Donnell at NCIS Los Angeles. That's tonight after 60 Minutes, only CBS. Denver had to make some decisions when they lost Malik Jackson in free agency to Jacksonville, so Crick came over. He was familiar with Wade Phillips' system during Wade's time in Houston. Cincinnati goes empty. Dalton from the gun. Steps up. Dalton will run. The slide will mark him down short of the first down. 11-yard run from Andy Dalton sets up 3rd and manageable now for the Bengals.
That was just the 4th pass attempt for the Bengals this afternoon. Dalton doing a good job of seeing the man-to-man coverage. Nobody responsible for the quarterback on that type of defense. And then wisely slid and came up a yard shy.
No Bengals quarterback has thrown for 350 or more yards in 3 straight games. Dalton has done it back-to-back with 366 in the opener against the Jets, and then 366 on the button again last week in Pittsburgh. Going airborne is Jeremy Hill for a first down. 2-yard pickup. This drive continues for Cincinnati with 12-12 to play in the first half.
And that stat is really surprising when you think about the likes of Greg Cook and Kenny Anderson and, of course, Boomer Esiason and David Klingler.
Achilles Smith.
3 out of 4, 3 out of 5.
But for Cincinnati, that's not the game plan. They don't want Andy Dalton throwing it 40, 45 times. They have an excellent running game. They just have not been able to show it through the first 2 weeks. They've done it here today with Jeremy Hill. This time it's Giovanni Bernard. He's got blockers. Bernard tripped up. Looked like he was going to cut that one to the sideline, and instead Brandon Marshall and Todd Davis combined to bring him down. 4.5-yard pickup. Well, there's Dalton. There's Kenny Anderson with a very slick do. Boomer Esiason with a very large neck. I'm not even sure that's Boomer's neck. I got to be honest with you. I feel like that might be Anthony Munoz's neck.
There's a lot to support there. That might be his neck.
No, I don't think so.
A large cranium.
Carson Palmer also on that list.
Left serve, be ready for the nudge. Run! Phone.
On 2nd and 6. Bernard finds a crack and takes it just short of the 40. Todd Davis got him down low, and it's a 4-yard pickup.
And Bernard talked to us a little bit about as Von Miller looks on from the sidelines, taking a breather here. But at that time, it was Bernard behind his fullback, Ryan Hewitt. They've got a good relationship as far as reading blocks. Hewitt reads it before Bernard. That time they picked up a couple.
So Shaquille Barrett, extended action for him with Miller on the sideline. And a 3rd and 2 for Cincinnati. Once again playing without Tyler Eifert. Hoping to get him back next week, which is Thursday against Miami or Dallas the following week. No gain. They needed 2 yards, and Bernard didn't get it. Kevin Huber coming onto the field for Cincinnati.
Yeah, both inside linebackers did a good job that time. Brandon Marshall in on that tackle with Todd Davis. Both of them met Bernard right at the line of scrimmage.
17 plays for Cincinnati. 14 have been runs. Norwood is the deep man for Denver. Huber will punt it, standing at his own 26. Clark Harris snaps it. Huber, high punt. It goes over the head of Norwood and bounces the wrong way for Cincinnati. They'll down it inside the 15, but that one could have rolled inside the 5. Denver has got a 10-7 lead, and they have the football when we come back with 9:29 left first half. Week 3 continues later today on CBS and for some of you on Fox. Then tonight, Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow, Monday Night Football on ESPN. Vincent Ray has been cleared, so no issues for Ray after that helmet-to-helmet hit on Anderson. Ray was asked a series of questions on the sideline to make sure he didn't have a concussion. He's got the helmet on, and he's out there for Cincinnati defensively right now. Denver will have it 1st and 10 at the 14. Long afternoon so far for Adam Jones. Motion man, Janovich, the fullback, now sets up in his normal spot. It's a running play for Anderson. Cincinnati slams him down. Domata Peko limits Anderson to a 2-yard pickup.
Now Denver has targeted passes in the direction of Adam Jones 7 times today. 5 completions for 85 yards, a penalty there, a missed tackle here, and then of course the fumble that set up the Broncos' 41-yard touchdown reception by Emmanuel Sanders. So he won't quit though. He's a competitor and he knows it's been off to a rough start, but he'll be in the action and he'll play better from this point on.
The injury to Okung has moved some pieces around the line. Simeon was throwing in the direction of Anderson. It's incomplete. Let's go down to Evan Washburn. Evan?
And Dan, to give you an idea what Adam Jones was like on the sideline after giving up that touchdown, a range of emotions that included being at the end of the bench, a bit isolated in his thoughts. Paul Gunther came over to give him some words. He is the emotional pulse of this defense, and he's trying to ride that wave right now.
Well, Jones is always going to be vocal, and he's going to be hard on himself. Okung working out on the stationary bike. It is Schofield at left tackle, Sembrilo over at right tackle, and Darian Weems, the former Cowboy, at right guard. Simeon on 3rd and 8. Steps up, throws it too high. Over the head of C.J. Anderson. 4th down, Denver.
Now, even if C.J. makes his catch, George Iloka is going to keep him from picking up the 1st down, but more concerning than that is an overthrow pass. Another misconnection by Simeon. We've seen him throw behind receivers, and now he just airmails C.J. Anderson.
And a chance for redemption here for Adam Jones. Dixon the punt. Jones lets it bounce. Denver will jump on it at the 37-yard line. It's a 46-yard kick. 3-point lead for the Broncos. Dalton and the Bengals offense back on the field when we return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, beer with your team on it. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Good news, bad news for Cincinnati. Good news, they've established the run for the first time this season, 95 yards on the ground in the first half, but it's come at the expense of the pass. Only 2 completions for Dalton, 2 targets for A.J. Green.
Yeah, fantasy owners of Andy Dalton are going to be wondering, hey, 366 2 games in a row, 16 yards so far.
Are you concerned for those fantasy owners, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Play fake. Dalton throws it away, put it over the head of Jeremy Hill. Shane Ray putting some heat on Andy Dalton. No DeMarcus Ware, who had surgery on his fractured right forearm, out 4 to 5 weeks. But they've got Shane Ray in his 2nd year out of Missouri. They have Shaquille Barrett, the undrafted free agent, 3rd year out of Colorado State. Von Miller has stepped forward in the leadership role. That's something Gary Kubiak made a point of yesterday in our conversation, that without Peyton Manning, that there was a void of some sort. Miller said, hey, you're not going to fill that void, but a lot of guys have stepped forward.
Absolutely, and I think that Miller obviously is backing it up with his play with 4 sacks in 2 games.
2nd and 10. Running play for Hill. Working the inside for 4 yards. A block from Ryan Hewitt. Von Miller, Super Bowl MVP. How do you stop him?
Does a good job of jumping inside of Tyler Croft there and getting in on that tackle. But up to that moment, really, he's been quiet. But it might be the quiet before the storm with a great player like Von Miller.
got a close relationship with the second-year tackle Cedric Ogbuehi. They attended Texas A&M together during Miller's last year. It was Ogbuehi's freshman year, and Miller said, I taught him everything that I knew, but he's learned some new tricks since then.
You think so? Huh?
Yeah, a couple. 3rd and 6. Dalton on a line, incomplete, and a flag down. Feeding it to Brandon LaFell on the perimeter. Matched up with Bradley Roby. Everybody moving as if it's going to be a first down on PI or illegal contact.
Pass interference, defense, 29. Automatic first down, spot of the foul.
Yeah, this is what hurt the Broncos on the Bengals scoring drive, was penalties. And you can see he's wrapped up as the ball is in the air.
Short. So new set of downs for Cincinnati out near midfield. They trail Denver 10-7. Each team has been penalized 3 times. Bernard in the backfield. Dalton deep drop. Clean throw. Hauled in by Green. First down. Across the 40, hit by T.J. Ward. 14 yards on the pass play.
Well, Dalton and Green have been playing together now for 6 years. Watch the timing here. It's a hook route by A.J. Green. The ball is halfway to him by the time he turns around. Roby absolutely has no shot at breaking that up. Good protection, good rhythm, and great communication between those two.
We asked A.J. Green if he ran track in high school. He said, yeah, they recruited me to run track. I went to 2 practices, and then I ran directly to my car. I said, I don't like this. This isn't for me. On a toss to Uzama and a high throw. A.J. Green, he and Dalton very comfortable with one another. They've been in the same system. They know each other so well. Green saying that Dalton is very smart in his ability to diagnose a defense and put them in the right play. That builds trust amongst his teammates.
I want to get back to the track thing. I mean, here's a guy who could jump out of the stadium. Wouldn't he be a great high jumper or a hurdler?
Imagine that track coach in high school. He's going like, what do I have to do? I've got to get this guy on the squad. Jeremy Hill tried to dance out of trouble, could not. 1-yard pickup for Hill as Billy Wynn was in on that play once again defensively for Denver. So Cincinnati faces a 3rd and 9. We've got 6:36 and counting left in this first half.
Bengals 2 of 4 this afternoon on 3rd downs, and coming in they were just 25% converting. A lot of that because they faced a lot of 3rd and longs in the first 2 games against the Jets and Steelers. 5
receivers set, 6 defensive backs for Denver. Dalton on 3rd and 9, over the middle. He's got Uzama. First down, Bengals. A bullet from Dalton, 22-yard BB.
Well, it's against 2 deep, so that means your tight end is going to get right down the middle. Dalton sees the coverage there by T.J. Ward, not deep enough, and over the top there, coming in with the big hit. Great catch by Uzama. Darian Stewart there, just a little bit late.
1st and 10 at the 15 for Cincinnati. Quick hitter. Green out in space. Oh, beautiful cut by Green. Forced out inside the 5.
And he didn't just make anybody miss. It's Aqib Talib. A sharp move, faking to the outside and then back inside. Talib playing way off. There's the move to the outside and then back to the inside. And high stepping all the way inside the 5-yard line. Gain of 11, and it's goal to go again for the Bengals.
6 offensive linemen on a 1st and goal inside the 5. Hewitt in front of Hill. Looking to power it in. Hill runs off contact for the touchdown. Jeremy Hill gets the angle. And his 2nd touchdown of the day.
Now, he said he loves to run to the left side, and this is why Whitworth and Bowling on the left side here. They're going to make a big push on Jared Crick. and then keeping his legs alive, staying away from the contact of the Broncos, and Hill has his second touchdown rushing of the afternoon.
8 plays, 62 yards. Cincinnati goes back in front. Extra point is perfect from Nugent. Jeremy Hill has come alive here in week 3. The Bengals lead it 14-10 over Denver, second quarter. NFL Play 60, the NFL's movement for a more active generation, encourages fans to get moving and play for 60 minutes every day. Learn how you can join the NFL Play 60 movement at NFL.com/Play60. Jeremy Hill, he has come out and said, after what happened against Pittsburgh, the costly fumble in the playoffs, that he just wants to be an under-the-radar guy. Just go about your job, do your business, and go home. His 2 touchdowns, he's taken it into the end zone. He's run directly to the official, handed him the football, no celebration, and heads directly to the sideline.
Extremely polite.
Very polite.
And congratulates each of his teammates with just a handshake. Old-fashioned style.
Nugent picks it off. Latimer will take it out of the end zone. He's got a lane. Latimer slowed down at the 30. And Latimer hit from behind as he crossed the 45-yard line. Cody Latimer out of Dayton, Ohio. He grew up 1 hour north of Cincinnati.
Yeah, he does a good job of seeing the opening here. Gets tripped up right there by... Here's Nugent here. Watch Nugent throw his left arm out there, and that's just enough to knock him off his stride. And now Nugent may have a problem with his left arm.
It's always a concern for kickers getting involved in tackling on special teams. Nugent may have saved the touchdown as Latimer had a head of steam, and that allowed James Wright to catch up to him. Simeon, play fake. Dials it up. That's a floater. A dying Quail and a flag down. Well, Vincent Ray almost fielded like a punt.
Well, it hit the ball. His arm was hit as he was throwing the ball, or it was deflected.
10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
We're going to get Ty Sambrailo for holding on this play, but it could have been a lot worse for Denver.
So they are working on the left side of Mike Nugent's upper body.
Yeah, but it's his lower body that counts, right? I think he just told the medical staff there, hey, I can kick the ball. Don't worry about it. Kickers are tough.
What's that now?
I forget it.
First and 20. Simeon out of the pocket. Pump fake and throw on the move. In stride, Devontae Booker. We have not seen the rookie on offense. 17 yards for Denver as Simeon buys some time and hits the young running back out of Utah.
Yeah, just his second catch in the NFL, but the buying time was really the key there. Simeon, who played in a spread offense at Northwestern, very comfortable throwing on the move.
Denver is in Cincinnati territory. We'll hit the 4-minute mark of this second quarter. Janovich in front of Booker. Booker gets the call, lowers the head, tries to spin to the marker on a roll, but didn't get there. Malaluga helped make sure of it. It'll be 3rd and short now for Denver.
Yeah, Broncos are excited about Devontae Booker and his ability to learn the offense. They feel that he can be an every down back, just like C.J. Anderson. Got good ball skills, as we saw on that last completion.
Anderson in. We asked him about his relationship with Booker. He said, hey, I'm helping him like Noshawn Moreno helped me when I got to the league. That's the way it should be. 3rd and 2. Motion man is Sanders. Simeon from the gun. Steps up. He's dumped. Flag thrown. Pat Sims gets to the quarterback. Sims not 100%. He's been dealing with a heel injury.
They're going to call holding against the
Defense,
Bengals.
number 43. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, that's Iloka, and that's another first down for Denver after a Cincinnati defensive penalty.
Penalties have really factored in this first half. That's 4 against each ball club. Seems like every time there's a penalty called, it results in a first down for the opponent.
Line of scrimmage just inside the 42. Simeon hangs in there and dumps it off to Yanovich. Works the sideline and he's out of bounds. The rookie from Nebraska. This is a traditional fullback in Andy Janovich, star wrestler in high school. You like to see that on the resume of a fullback.
Yeah, you like the size too, 6'1", 238. But the modern day fullback has to be able to catch, and Janovich did that time. We have a player down on the sideline. Is it Adam Jones?
It is.
Hurt on the tackle.
So Adam Jones goes off. Darquez Denard replaces him. It's a 1st and 10 inside the 30. Offset in the backfield with Booker and Janovich. Fake it. Bootleg. Simeon should have been picked off. It was on the hands of Sean Williams. John Phillips, the intended receiver, and a penalty marker on the far side of the field.
Yeah, on the bootleg, one of the Bronco offensive linemen got down the field. But this should have been picked off, no question. Sean Williams.
Ineligible player downfield, offense number 86. Number 86 was covered up. Penalty's been declined. 2nd down.
You know, that's not John Phillips' fault. He's a tight end, supposed to be on the line of scrimmage. The wide receiver to the outside has got to back up off the line of scrimmage, so he's in the backfield, or Phillips is an ineligible receiver.
We're down to 2:24 to play in the first half. Cincinnati with a 14-10 lead on Denver. Broncos are driving. Play clock is down to 3. And they're forced to use a timeout. They would have run out of time. Denver has 2 timeouts remaining. Clock stops with 2:24 left. Second quarter. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cower, latest NFL scores and highlights. And a preview of Thursday Night Football on the NFL Network. It's coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. What have you seen from young Trevor Siemian here today in Cincinnati?
Well, you know, that ball should have been picked off, and that's what has contributed to his 3 interceptions so far this season, is trying to throw the ball into tight windows and trying to beat the defense by making impossible throws. That one clearly should have been picked. He's just 9 of 19 so far. He got, of course, the big pass to Sanders for the touchdown, but been a little rough for him here on the road first time.
Simeon said this Denver offense is balanced. He personally has not felt the pressure that it's all on him. C.J. Anderson echoed those statements, saying that everybody else feels responsibility. Outside, Sanders, and a flag thrown on the near side. Simeon got rid of it, and then contact after the pass.
Yeah, but the Broncos had another ineligible
player
receiver.
Downfield, offense number 76. Penalties declined. 3rd down.
This time it's Max Garcia. Penalty declined. Here's the hit as Simeon got rid of the football. A shot from Geno Atkins.
Yeah, it looked like Atkins had 2 steps there, which is 1 too many, making contact with the quarterback.
Dan Adam Jones is part of that Cincinnati defensive huddle, so he's back in there for the Bengals. This is a 3rd and 9 for Denver. They're going to let it roll down to the 2-minute warning. Cincinnati holding on to a 14-10 lead. 3rd and 9 for the Broncos when we come back. Russell Okung, the veteran tackle, has returned for Denver. Evan Washburn reported that it looked like a lower back issue for Okung. Sam Brilo at right tackle and Schofield back to right guard. 3rd and 9 for Denver. 2 minutes to go, first half. Simeon out of the gun, throws it underneath And Cody Latimer has got it. It's good enough for a first down. They'll move the chains. Needed 9. They got 10.
And nobody downfield illegally for the Broncos. With the ball thrown low to Latimer, who goes down and picks it off the turf for that first down. Curious that the Bengals refused both those men downfield penalties. Would have brought up a 1st and 20 instead of a 3rd and 10. And the Broncos convert.
And then they look at this one, under 2 minutes to go. That's
Previous play
up to the officials.
will be reviewed. Complete or incomplete.
They will review it. As Latimer went down low, tried to control it. It looked like the nose of the football made contact with the turf. The question is whether or not he had complete control.
Well, he had his hands the wrong way. You got to turn your palms down and hug the ball to your body. By catching it with his palms up, he actually pushes the ball down to the turf.
I think they're looking for a cradle motion there. And that's not what Latimer did. Obviously the ball was low, so he had to adjust. Latimer goes down to the ground, and it was enough for a first down if it stands, but this one is under review. And a big difference here because Denver would be facing a 4th down and they'd be staring at a 46-yard field goal. The call on the field was a complete pass. The longer it takes usually means that they're going to reverse it because they've got to come up with time and also where the line of scrimmage is. If it's quick, that normally indicates that it's open and shut. They see it, they move on. Denver has run 31 plays. They've passed the football 21 times. Simeon with 135 yards through the air and a touchdown on the long one to Emmanuel Sanders.
And John Perry really taking a lot of time communicating with the folks back in New York.
Again, I think if he saw what he wanted to see on this and they were going to keep the call the way that it is, he probably would have sprinted out earlier. But again, we're just deducing here. Here comes Perry, and here comes the announcement. Is it
After
complete?
reviewing the play, the previous ruling on the field stands as called. First down.
All right, so everything I said, just let's pretend that didn't happen.
Well, it's a bang-bang play. You know, they called it on the field completion. There was not enough to see the ball move. It looked like it moved a little bit when it hit the nose of the ball, but when he turned over, he had full control of it.
Shotgun formation here for Simeon. They are inside the 20. Simeon way off target on a cross by Sanders. Hit by Vincent Ray from behind. Very tight coverage from the linebacker against the wideout.
Well, and Sanders comes up holding his right hand. Ray with really good coverage on the very elusive Emmanuel Sanders. Just going to be a little out route as he goes to the ground with Ray on top of him. He leads with his right hand and comes up some type of sprain.
Sanders remains in there. He sets up on the outside. Norwood inside of him. It's been a quiet day for Demaryius Thomas. Handoff. Anderson. Up the middle. Anderson lowers the shoulder and accelerates inside the 10. Hit down low by Josh Shaw. That's a 9-yard pickup by Anderson.
Yeah, he told us he runs with his eyes. He visualizes the play in the pre-snap alignment. It allows the offensive line to do their job. Good patience on that draw play by C.J. Anderson.
Yeah, who told him and taught him about that pre-snap trick?
Well, that's Jonathan Stewart of the Carolina Panthers when he was at the University of Oregon. That's one technique that the Oregon coaches use with a little laser beam to make your eyes train on the defense.
3rd and 1. Simeon Play fake, throwing at the sticks. And it's Sanders for the first down. Hit by Dre Kirkpatrick. We're down to 32 seconds left. And a timeout called with 31.
Really a good design of this play with Sanders coming in behind Norwood, making it difficult for Dre Kirkpatrick to break on this pass by Simeon. Simeon cheating to that right side, making the pass a little bit shorter, and it paid off.
Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report, JB and Company, latest NFL scores and highlights, and a preview of Thursday Night Football on the NFL Network. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. We asked Sanders about whether he was surprised that Trevor Simeon's the starter right now. He said, no, he used to warm me up before games last year, and I would tell all the guys, man, this guy can really spin it.
Well, he's targeted Sanders 10 times today. 6 catches.
First and goal for Denver. Trying to regain the lead. Touchdown! Simeon delivers to Sanders.
Yeah, he told us that he wanted to give Sanders and Thomas their opportunities in the red zone. This is just a perfect pass, too. An out route by Sanders. Look at the timing, the good protection there, and the ball thrown away from the defense just enough. And Sanders is in the end zone again.
So 2 touchdowns for Sanders for Denver, 2 touchdowns for Hill for Cincinnati. And the extra point is blocked. McManus denied. Denver's lead is 2.
Well, Marcus Hunt has done this before. 6'8", left hand way up in the air, and he gets it. Second time this season that Hunt has blocked a placement try.
He made a living on that at SMU. He went to Southern Methodist for shot put and discus. Didn't start playing football until 2009, and here he is in the NFL making a name for himself on that particular play, blocking field goals and extra points. And that could loom large, as we know, in a tight game. 16-14, Denver, 28 seconds to go, first half.
Yeah, the Bengals up front on that field goal block team or extra point block team. Michael Johnson, 6'7". You got Dunlap at 6'6", and of course Hunt, the tallest, at 6'8". And they do a great job of getting skinny between the offensive line, and then their timing, especially Hunt's timing, has been impeccable.
Takeoff from McManus. Burkhead, the return man, and he is not going to touch it. Over his head. Cincinnati will have it at the 25. Another look at the touchdown pass with some Fouts focus.
Well, Simeon sees the coverage here. This is Duron Smith. Here's Sanders, and it's an out route. And you can see how well this ball is thrown away from the left hand of Smith diving for it. And this is, again, another tight spiral. Doesn't wobble at all. Gets there in a hurry and is extremely accurate for the score.
Cincinnati takes a knee, and that will do it for the first half here at Paul Brown Stadium. The home opener for the Bengals, and they trail the Broncos 16-14 at the break. Trevor Simeon, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. Andy Dalton is just 5 of 8 for 63 yards in the first half. Cincinnati has generated the majority of its offense on the ground with Jeremy Hill, 11 carries for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. End of the first half, 16-14 Broncos. We'll come back. The Verizon Halftime Report is coming up after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Straight ahead, bulldozes in. Touchdown, Jeremy Hill. Loses the football. Adam Jones coughs it up. He drops it in the bucket. Emmanuel Sanders. Touchdown, Broncos. Start of the third quarter in Cincinnati. Denver 16, the Bengals 14. Let's check out our first half highlight presented by DirecTV, and it's Simeon to Sanders.
Yeah, second touchdown for Simeon to Sanders. This one, a line drive shot out of the reach of the defense, and Sanders celebrating the end zone. Not frustrated this week, is he?
No. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts, Evan Washburn down on the sideline. So here was the story coming into this game. Cincinnati was not able to establish the run in the first 2 weeks, but yet today they haven't thrown the ball all that much. The flip side for Denver, they've ran the football very effectively in their first 2 games. The passing game came under question, and that's been switched around as well.
Yeah, it's amazing for Cincinnati. 18 runs and just 8 passes, where Dalton was averaging 42 passes a game in the first 2. But the second half, this is going to be a real good one, because the 2-pointer difference now, that blocked extra point by Marcus Hunt, you know that's going to come back to haunt one of these two teams, because they always play close games.
They do. They played a tight one last year in Week 16. It was won in overtime by the Denver Broncos. Looking at the numbers in that first half, the 103 rushing yards. Finally, Cincinnati busting out on the ground. And the passing yards for Simeon, including 2 touchdowns to Emmanuel Sanders. Remember, Cincinnati won the toss and deferred to the second half, so McManus will kick it off to Rex Burkhead. And the third quarter is underway. Booming kick from McManus. Burkhead doesn't get a chance to touch it. Cincinnati will have it at the 25, and let's set it downstairs to Evan Washburn.
I spoke with both coaches. Let's start with Gary Kubiak. He felt like in the run defense, they were getting gapped on counter plays. Need better discipline in that department. As for Trevor Siemian, happy with what he saw, but he admitted he got away with a few. Could have been some turnovers. For Cincinnati, Marvin Lewis talked only about the penalties, 4 of them, that he felt like were the big story. And as for the conditions, guys, really hot down here. Ray Malaluga did get some IV treatment at halftime.
All right, Evan, thanks very much. First play of this third quarter. And it's Hill setting up and Hewitt in front of him. Hill tries a spin move. And a good decision by Hill as he turns it into a 4-yard pickup. Shane Ray there defensively for Denver. Remember, no DeMarcus Ware, out for potentially an extended period, 4 to 5 weeks with that broken forearm.
And we really haven't talked all that much about Von Miller. The Bengal offensive line and tight ends doing a good job of controlling Miller. He's sackless in that first half.
AFC Defensive Player of the Week after his performance against Indianapolis. Had 3 sacks, a forced fumble, 7 tackles. On the throw to A.J. Green. He's got excellent hands. Such a big target, lanky, 7-yard pickup to lead there defensively. They'll move the chain. Cincinnati on the move now. First possession of the second half.
Those strong hands and long arms, they shorten the pass.
Cold, yep. Sylvester Williams now on the sideline for Denver. Handed off to Hill. Stutter step. Tries to take it to the outside, and Todd Davis would not let it happen. No gain on the play for Cincinnati.
Let's check out Von Miller here as the Bengals are running to his side of the field. You see a little double team block there. Look, he's always looking to strip the ball from the runner or the receiver or the quarterback.
So a change on that defensive line with the injury to Williams. Darius Kilgo is in. Second year out of Maryland. 6th-round draft pick in 2015. Shotgun. Fake it. Dalton fires. Sideline. Incomplete. One-on-one. Green and Talib, 2 Pro Bowlers, going head-to-head or hand-to-hand.
Yeah, and I think that Green wanted this ball to be thrown all the way down the field because he's even with Talib here. It's just slightly ahead. Was not expecting the back shoulder throw that time. Good tight coverage by Talib. Rarely do you see A.J. Green so upset.
Could be from a lack of sleep this week with the newborn.
Could be. Easton Ace Green.
Get used to it. 3rd and 10.
I call him EA.
Already? You've given him a nickname. Dalton out of the pocket. Flag is down, and Dalton just chucks it away with the pressure from Von Miller. If you're Denver, you decline it, and Cincinnati will punt.
Offense, number 70. Penalties decline. 4th down.
And Cedric Ogbuehi Right tackle, watch number 70 here as Miller spins and turns to the inside, and the chokehold. Lyle he draws the flag.
Aggie against Aggie. And Cincinnati on 4th and 10 will punt it. Jordan Norwood is the deep man with KO in front of him. Huber. High punt. Norwood fields at the 14. He's got room along the sideline. Cuts it to the 25 and then gang tackle there. 12-yard return, a 50-yard punt from Huber. Denver, first possession of this second half. They've got a 2-point lead in Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's been an up and down first half for Trevor Siemian, taking a couple of big hits. Did deliver this beautiful long bomb of 41 yards to Sanders. Misses on this touchdown attempt, their first trip to the red zone. Gets away with one there. Should have been picked off, but showing the competitor that he is, comes right back and takes the team down and delivers a fine strike to Sanders. 13 of 24 in that first half, 144. Those 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, although 2 of them should have been picked off by the Bengal defense.
First road start for Trevor Siemian. Getting ready for the draft. He worked with quarterback guru Jeff Christensen in the Chicago area. Siemian throwing. Ball was stripped. Demarius Thomas with Carlos Dansby coming out with it. A flag on the play. That felt like a catch and fumble as Thomas was looking for extra yardage, and Cincinnati has got it.
And it's Pac-Man Jones who knocked the ball out of the hands of Sanders, and the penalty will go against the Broncos. Bengal ball.
Thomas with the catch, turns it upfield, and a chop by Jones.
Yeah, a bit of redemption for Adam Jones here as he sees the ball and comes with a strong left hand.
Is a catch, fumble, recovered by Cincinnati. Pass interference, offense, penalties decline. First down, Cincinnati.
So the Bengals take over a Denver turnover on the first offensive play of the second half for the Broncos. Adam Jones giveth in the first half, and Adam Jones taketh away in this third quarter. Von Miller's having some contact lens issues, so he's not on the field with his defensive teammates. It is the left eye of Miller. All turnovers are reviewed. So they'll take a look to see if this one stands. Call on the field, catch by Thomas, and a fumble recovered by Cincinnati.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Walmart. Save money, live better. And by Hyundai, official sponsor of the NFL.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Very dramatic.
Yeah, John recognized the effect he was going to have, I think, and said it emphatically. It stands.
And the crowd liked that call. You know, near standing ovation.
Oh, Demarius Thomas clearly making a football move. And Cincinnati takes over after the strip and recovery. Sylvester Williams is back in there for Denver. 12:43 to go in the third quarter. 6 offensive linemen for Cincinnati. Jake Fisher. Dalton. Look out! Andy Dalton is devoured. Shane Ray leading the charge. TJ Ward there as well. Loss of 8 on the play.
And they're both coming from the blind side. Here is Ray, here's Ward, and they're coming at Dalton after the play fake. Dalton was going to go up top to A.J. Green, but nobody blocks Ward, and Jake Fisher fans on Ray.
So back it up to the 45-yard line of Denver, and a 2nd and 18. Ray will get credit for his first sack of the season. Remember, Cincinnati gave up 7 sacks in week 1 against the Jets, 1 last week against Pittsburgh. Dalton in trouble again. Back back-to-back. Dalton goes down and loses his helmet. They can't stop Shane Ray.
Now, Wade Phillips says that there's one way of creating turmoil in the opponent's backfield, and that's to bring pressure. They did it with a blitz the previous time. This is just a four-man rush, but Shane Ray, playing a defensive end spot here, again gets in on Andy Dalton as he gets his helmet ripped off.
Just like it was a week ago against Pittsburgh. Cincinnati moving in the wrong direction. Soft toss to A.J. Green. And Green with a flag down, zigzags towards the sideline. He's out of bounds at the 41.
They may get Brandon LaFell for an illegal block.
2 flags.
3 plays, negative yardage. It appears on all 3 for Cincinnati.
Penalty markers were thrown at the 45. And John Parry wants to have a chat with Gary Kubiak. An 8-yard play.
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 11. 10-yard penalty replay, 3rd down.
So back it up, playing the field position game. It would have been 4th and 14. It is LaFell.
That's an interesting decision, to take this penalty and not bring out the punt team.
It's 3rd and 32 now, as Cincinnati will maybe try to get into field goal range here. Obviously, you got a lot of room in front of you, and you don't want to take major chances here, but you're getting a free throw. Underneath, Boyd, and they're bottled up. So in the end, Cincinnati goes conservative. Derek Wolfe over there, and now the Bengals will punt it, and Denver will get the football back with no harm after the Thomas fumble.
Well, Andy Dalton has completed just 7 out of 12 passes. 5 of them have been to A.J. Green. Uzama has 1. Boyd has 1.
Kevin Huber with Jordan Norwood deep at his own 12-yard line. High punt. It sails over the head of Norwood and bounces 6 yards deep in the end zone. Denver will have it at the 20, a 53-yard punt, but a net of 33. Broncos lead it 16-14 in the 3rd. Bronco players Russell Okung, T.J. Ward, and Sylvester Williams surprised Colorado's Legacy High School last week, appearing at the school's homecoming game days after a bus accident injured 15 players and 3 coaches and claimed the life of driver Carrie Chopper. The Broncos gave a pregame speech. They joined the team on the field for the game. Legacy won it 29-6. The Broncos making a difference in the community. They've got a 16-14 lead here over the Cincinnati Bengals. Sanders has been the main man. 7 catches, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the leading target for Trevor Siemian. Anderson, single setback. He gets the carry and he stumbles once again. Picks up a yard. Trevor Siemian is out of Northwestern. He is the 3rd Northwestern quarterback to start an NFL game. Dan Otto Graham began his career in the All-American Football Conference, then started 71 games with the Browns in the 50s. And yes, I know you knew this, Dan, Randy Dean started 3 games for the Giants in 78 and 79. Phil Simms had an equipment issue in 1979, so he missed the opening series. Dean stepped in, and it was the start for Dean.
And shortly thereafter, the end for Dean.
That's true. I guess you know your Randy Dean history. Siemian is dumped. Carlos Dunlap finally gets to the quarterback, looking for his first sack. He had 13 and a half in 2015.
Well, he's working against Tyler Sambrailo. Sambrailo tries to hit him at the line of scrimmage, and Dunlap just played Matador that time and went right around him. Picks up his 50th career sack, and just really what the Bengals needed to get this crowd back in the ballgame.
It's a 3rd and 16 for Denver. Under 9 minutes to go in the 3rd. Siemian will hand it off to Anderson. Head of steam. Anderson bangs his way across the 25, but short of a first down. Hit by Vincent Ray. 4th down for the Broncos. Cincinnati has held the running game in check for Denver. 10 carries, 34 yards for Anderson. That was his longest run of the day, covering 13 yards. Alex Erickson is the return man. Made an error last week in the return game with a fair catch deep in Cincinnati territory. Dixon the punt. Erickson. Well, he stepped out. That left foot appeared to hit the white along the sideline. Shaquille Barrett on special teams there to greet him. Bengals get the football back. 8:10 to play, third quarter. 2-point game in Cincinnati. TV's #1 comedy is bigger than ever. But also you've got NCIS Los Angeles, a premier event, a new night. That's tonight after 60 minutes here on CBS. LL Cool J, Chris O'Donnell. We've got you covered tonight on CBS. Jeremy Hill sets up as a receiver, and now he'll shift to the backfield. We'll see funky formations from Cincinnati. Hewitt, lead blocker. Hill trying to push the pile, and this play will be whistled dead. Forward progress will get him just across the 25-yard line. 1-yard pickup.
Denver's really made the proper adjustment. They've been able to stop that run that's been right up the middle between the tackles that was so successful in that first half. But if there's a better defensive coordinator in the NFL, I'd like to meet him. This guy here, well-deserved accolades. His championship last year, outstanding defense, one of the best, if not the best, in the NFL.
38th year coaching in the NFL for Wade Phillips. He was the head coach of the Broncos in 93 and 94. Shotgun for Dalton, 2nd and 9. The run. Dalton has room. The slide will be enough. New set of downs for Cincinnati. That's a 10-yard run for Andy Dalton. 4 carries, 21 yards on the ground for Dalton.
Yeah, heads up again. You see now they're trying to pick up the pace, going right to the line of scrimmage with one of these funky formations. There's 3 interior linemen.
Attack, up!
Dalton out of the gun. Will toss it to Green. Green along the sideline and angles out of bounds. 3-yard pickup. Chris Harris Jr. over there defensively. They have not really tested Harris or Talib deep.
Well, this is what Dalton sees. He sees that he's got Green right here that's going to be open because of the cushion that both T.J. Ward and Chris Harris are giving the receivers on the outside.
6 catches, 48 yards for A.J. Green. Had 180 yards in that victory over the Jets in Week 1. Giovanni Bernard cuts through the hole. Flag thrown late as Bernard crosses the 45.
Yeah, this is the play that Jeremy Hill had that 50-yarder on. This time the Bengals are guilty of holding.
Offense, number 68. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's Kevin Zeitler.
Zeitler pulling on the play from his right guard position. It's a little counter play. And Zeitler gets out there. It's his left hand. Boy, that is a real questionable call. He did not hold him at all. In fact, he actually pushed the defender down the field, Todd Davis.
2nd and 17. Bernard will now shift to the outside with Uzama. So this becomes a 5-receiver set for Dalton. Protection, breaks down. Dalton gets out of it. Dalton using his legs. And another baseball slide for Dalton. They'll mark him down at the 43-yard line, short of the first down. Kilgo got a piece of Dalton, but couldn't bring him down.
Yeah, Dalton, really a great job of hanging in there and pulling away from that left-handed tackle there attempt. And then getting down the field, Kilgo just couldn't bring him down. 16 yards, sets up a 3rd and short.
And Dalton will operate out of the gun on 3rd and a yard. 7 defensive backs here for Denver. Dalton steps up, throws on the line. Flag down, Bernard with the catch. penalty marker at the 45. If it stands, it's enough for the first down, as Bernard and Corey Nelson exchange pleasantries.
Yeah, it was man-to-man coverage. Nelson on Bernard.
Holding. Defense. Number 52. Penalties decline. First down.
And really a good throw by Dalton, too, because Nelson was right on the back of Bernard, but Dalton led him perfectly away from the defender. And Bernard with good strength to pull away from the hold of Nelson.
First catch for Bernard, covering 5 yards. He's got 3 carries for 9 yards. And now it's Hill returning for Cincinnati. Near midfield. Dalton timing route. Good hands. James Wright. Out of bounds. It's a 9 or 10 yard gain, depending upon where they mark him out.
And the Bengals now getting a little rhythm going. Now they've changed the tempo, going right to the line of scrimmage, making the Broncos.
There's confusion as to whether or not he got the first down.
And they were late moving the chains, that's for sure. I think the Broncos may want to challenge this. The official from the far side of the field came in and called the clock stoppage, but no challenge from Kubiak.
I think he's got it.
Right foot down. Let's watch that left foot.
They give it to him. First down, Cincinnati. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Handoff. Jeremy Hill running off tackle for 4 yards, hit by Watson. JB, Tony Gonzalez, NFL Today update.
Dan Fouts would like this, wouldn't he, Tony?
Yes, he would, because this still counts on the stat sheet. You throw the quick screen out there to Jamison Crowder. He takes it 55 yards for the touchdown. Washington takes the lead over the Giants 23-21.
Iron Eagle, Dan Fouts, and Evan Washburn.
Yeah, I like that, but it's just a short pass. I like the long passes for touchdowns.
You like JJ, John Jefferson, deep. Give it to Jeremy Hill. And now mixing the run with the pass. 2 yard pickup. There was a lot of run early for Cincinnati. Crick and Davis collaborate on that hit. Sets up a 3rd and 4. Now Giovanni Bernard replaces Hill. 16-14, Denver leading Cincinnati. Bengals are driving. They are inside the Denver 35. 9th play of the drive for the Bengals. 139 yards on the ground. Shotgun on a 3rd and 4. Dalton in stride. Giovanni Bernard takes a little punishment, but can give out some of his own. Darian Stewart, 9 yards on the pitch and catch.
He's the Bengals' second leading receiver. It was big last week against the Steelers. Similar type of play. He got in for the touchdown. But big conversion there on 3rd down. Bernard's such a weapon because of his quickness and ball skills. Big conversion there to keep this drive alive.
Line of scrimmage is now the 25 of Denver. Time-consuming drive for Cincinnati. Dalton fires it. Complete. A.J. Green. After that catch, he's always looking to curl one way or the other to create extra yardage. He's hit immediately by Aqib Talib. That's a 9-yard pickup.
Yeah, fantasy owners have got to be a little bit more happy here in the second half as Dalton 5 for 5 on this drive. And getting his star receiver, A.J. Green, involved in a big way.
Are you in a league this year? I've never heard you in the 7 years we've been together mention fantasy football more than today.
It brings families together.
It really does. It unites families. Great point. 2nd and 1. Jeremy Hill banged down, and he's got enough for a first down. So this drive continues. Line of scrimmage is now the 15-yard line. Mixing and matching. 97 yards on the ground for Hill, 2 touchdowns. Dalton now 114 yards through the air on 13 of 18 completions. 7-minute drive for the Bengals.
Bengals come in with big people here. Jake Fisher at right tackle. Whitworth flops over to the left side.
LaFell in motion. On the ground, Bernard. Not much of a hole, picks up a yard and a half. Kilgo in on that stop for Denver. We're under a minute to go now in the third.
They just limit their offense so much when they bring in Fisher and take out a tight end. Of course, they're missing Tyler Eifert, the touchdown maker, still out with a bad ankle.
13th play of the drive. It's taken nearly 8 minutes for Cincinnati moving down the field. Bernard, spin. And Bernard will take a loss on the play. Marshall converging. Von Miller reading it, and it's a loss of 3, and that'll be the final play of this third quarter. Fourth quarter is coming up in a tight one from Ohio. Denver 16, Cincinnati 14. We'll return to Paul Brown Stadium after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, Evan Washburn, the rest of our NFL on CBS crew here in Cincinnati. We start the fourth quarter with Denver in front 16-14, but the Bengals deep in Denver territory and facing a 3rd and 11 first play of this fourth quarter. Mike Nugent, the kicker for the Bengals, was injured trying to make a tackle on a kickoff, left shoulder injury. We'll see if they need him here on 4th down or if Cincinnati converts. 3rd and 11. Dalton popped up in the air. Almost available for Harris. His back was turned as it bounced off him. Brandon LaFell, the intended receiver, and now here comes Nugent.
The versatility of this defense is just awesome so far. Pressure on Dalton has been effective. That time they went with a zone coverage. And Chris Harris right in the throwing lane there to bring out this field goal attempt by Nugent.
This is a 34-yard attempt. He kicked the game winner in week 1 against the Jets from 47 yards away. Trying to get Cincinnati the lead. 34 yards. It's good. A blocked extra point is the difference right now. 17-16. Bengals.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the next-gen network. And by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
Cincinnati 17, Denver 16. Long drive by the Bengals. 15 plays, 60 yards. It took 8 minutes and 17 seconds, bridging the third and fourth quarters, and results in a Mike Nugent 34-yard field goal for the Bengals to go in front. Andy Dalton, 114 yards through the air. No mistakes, no touchdowns. They got 2 of those on the ground from Jeremy Hill. Nugent kicks it off. Latimer is the return man. Going to take it out 1 yard deep in the end zone. Latimer toppled over. He went airborne across the 15-yard line. And Latimer down. Denver and Cincinnati playing a tight one. These teams have seen some wild finishes in recent meetings. 0-6, game-tying extra point attempt goes awry for the Bengals. Less than a minute left, 1-point loss. 0-9, famous one. Orton's pass goes off of Leon Hall, falls right to Brandon Stokely for the game-winning touchdown. And then last year, the Bengals down by 3 in OT. The snap gets away from A.J. McCarron, and that sealed the win for the Broncos. We could be in for a wild finish once again here at Paul Brown Stadium with Cincinnati leading Denver 17-16. Early stages fourth quarter. Devontae Booker is in there. Phillips, the motion man. No Virgil Green because of a calf injury. Simeon fakes. And engulfed by Pecco.
That's Pecco's first sack of the year, but Simeon wanted to get rid of this ball in a hurry, but look at big number 96 right in his throwing lane. 6'6", and he gets up in the air and forces Simeon to hang on to the ball and take this big hit from Pecco.
Simeon, deep drop, throws it Low throw was handled there by Jordan Norwood. 4-yard gain, but a penalty marker on the play at the 25.
So we'll take that sack away from Pecco because
Holding.
Simeon did
Defense.
get 1 yard.
Number 90. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Michael Johnson called for the hold defensively.
That's what Marvin Lewis told Evan Washburn about how he felt about the first half and the penalties against the Bengals defensively that kept the Bronco drives alive. And now an automatic first down after the holding call on Michael Johnson.
Trevor Simeon is 14 of 25 against Marvin Lewis's squad. 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Simeon sets and throws. It's complete. Demarius Thomas, 9-yard gain, short of a first down. You think about how Simeon ended up getting this job. They acquire Mark Sanchez after Brock Osweiler takes the big money in free agency with Houston. The assumption then is, all right, Sanchez is going to get the first crack at it. He doesn't take advantage. Then you just think that, oh, Paxton Lynch, they're opening the door for their first-round draft pick, number 26 overall. It's Simeon that outperforms them in the preseason. Handoff to Booker, and Booker plunges for 2. That's good enough for a first down. We haven't even mentioned the part of the equation where John Elway was in serious discussions with the 49ers to acquire Colin Kaepernick, and if Kaepernick was willing to take less money and adjust his contract, he would have been a Bronco right now.
Yeah, they had to settle on Sanchez, but Simeon, as you said, Ian, outperformed everybody at that position in the preseason, and that's the way it should be, regardless of whether you're a high draft pick or you've been traded for.
Lynch was 26th overall in that first round out of Memphis. First down, Simeon to John Phillips. So they'll dink it and dunk it. If Cincinnati will give it to him, that's an 8-yard pickup. Hit by Adam Jones on the play.
That's the first catch of the year for John Phillips. 8-year veteran, has played with Dallas and San Diego. Last year was with the Broncos. But you know, the simple passes, the hook routes are the ones that are most effective today. We've seen A.J. Green for the Bengals on a couple. That time Phillips, and previously was Demarius Thomas.
2nd and 2, back to the ground. Booker leans forward and gets enough for the first down. It's a 3-yard gain.
First down is really the key because they've set themselves up the last 2 times with 2nd and very short, and they've been able to convert and keep the drive alive. Before this drive started, the Bengals had a 10-minute advantage in time of possession, and yet just a 1-point lead.
Denver came in averaging 6.2 yards on first down. They had avoided 3 and outs through the first 2 games. They've had a couple of them here today. So new set of downs for the Broncos. Simeon steps up. Simeon takes a shot. Will Clark, first man for Cincinnati. That'll go down as a sack for the Bengals D.
Well, Clark got one last week against Big Ben Roethlisberger. It's a deep drop for Simeon, but as he steps up, there's the collapsing pocket as Clark gets help from Dunlap.
Remember, sacks were a huge problem last year in the first couple of weeks, where they could not protect Peyton Manning. They had given up 7 through 2 games last year, 3 through 2 games this year. But he's felt pressure, Simeon, here today. Cincinnati has 2 sacks on the afternoon. This is a 2nd and 13. Simeon squeezes it into Sanders. They'll be marked down shy of the first down at the 46.
This may be his best throw of the day because it's between Denard and Adam Jones. Sanders with great concentration here, but the ball thrown to the body of Sanders, so he doesn't have to worry about reaching out and taking a shot to the ribs. Good throw by Simeon.
3rd and 2 for the Broncos. 4 receivers set. A jump by Thomas. Penalty marker on the play.
False start. Offense. Number 88. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And that changes things.
One word for that. Inexcusable. Especially for a veteran of 7 years like Thomas.
Instead of a 3rd and 2, Denver faces a 3rd and 7. 5 penalties costing the Broncos 41 yards. Back in Denver territory now at the 49. Simeon operates out of the gun. Simeon lets it rip. And a first down throw to Demaryius Thomas. Keep this drive going. 16 yards as Thomas faked out Kirkpatrick for extra yardage.
Didn't you say giveth and taketh?
Yes. Yeseth.
You certainly did. And Thomas is going to make up for that offsides penalty with the catch, the spin, and the first down.
Do you have a lisp? What is that? Line of scrimmage is now the 35.
Simeon perfect on the drive, 4 for 4, make it 5 for 5.
Gets rid of it quickly, and it's Benny Fowler out on the perimeter. Another first down, picking up chunks of yards in the passing game. That's 13 yards on that play to the second-year wideout from Michigan State.
And he's distributing the ball well. 7 different receivers. Make it 8 now. And another first down.
First down at the Cincinnati 22. Handoff. Booker runs into a wall but picks up 2. Brought down at the 20-yard line. So Devontae Booker getting some important carries here in the fourth quarter.
And he's very conscious of ball security too. Didn't have a whole lot on that left side, but he covered up. When you fumble on your very first carry in the NFL, you never forget it.
Yeah. That happened against Carolina in week 1.
And nobody lets you forget it either.
10th play of the drive. Tremendous answer here by the Denver offense. Simeon tossed to the outside. Sanders, the fake upfield, and he's dropped inside the 5. Emmanuel Sanders, elusive abilities, turns that into a 17-yard gain.
Well, look how the cushion again by Kirkpatrick. He did this to Adam Jones in the first half. Both Jones and Kirkpatrick solid tacklers, but not that time as Sanders runs through the arm tackle and gets it inside the 5.
Weekend starts on Thursday. The Miami Dolphins take on the Cincinnati Bengals Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. That was an injury timeout. Josh Shaw just limped his way to the Cincinnati sideline from the other side of the field. That was on the tackle of Emmanuel Sanders. So Shaw now out of action. Denver's got it. First and goal at the 3. Anderson in the backfield. Janovich joins him there. Give it to Janovich. Running hard, Janovich. He's twirled down by Iloka. Looked like Janovich on second effort could get to the goal line. Instead, it's a 2-yard pickup.
Yeah, just an outstanding tackle by Iloka. He meets Janovich head on, and then it's a wrestling match
Number 77
with the former college wrestler. And Iloka wins.
13th play of the drive. It's used up 8 minutes off the clock. Second and goal for the Broncos. Thomas goes in motion. Fake it. Simeon. End zone. Touchdown. John Phillips. Big spike from the veteran. Wide open on the play, and Simeon puts it exactly where it had to be. Denver leads it 22-17. And the Broncos,
Yeah, you got to go for 2 here.
will go for 2. Or will they?
Well, Simeon is still out there. But John Phillips celebrating his 5th career touchdown reception. He only has 47 catches in his career, but that deserves a big spike.
So Denver will go for it. Up by 5, trying to make this a 7-point game. Simeon with a spread. Latimer goes in motion. Moving pocket. Simeon rolling. Simeon loses his footing. Ball is scooped up. And Denver is denied. Simeon was perfect on the drive, but not perfect on the two-point try.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by national mortgage lender Quicken Loans. Home by Refi Power. Domino's. Order online at domino's.com. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
Trevor Simeon was 7 of 7 on that drive, including the touchdown pass to Phillips. The Broncos do not cash in on the two-point try. And it's 22-17 Denver now kicking it off. Burkhead, the return man for Cincinnati. 6 yards deep, and he'll take a knee. Cincinnati will have it at the 25-yard line. Simeon, 228 yards. 3 touchdowns on the day in his first road start. And the Broncos leading in Cincy. Get the CBS Sports app for inside access to breaking news and expert analysis of your favorite team. It has everything you need. Download the CBS Sports app today. On a warm Sunday afternoon in Cincinnati, the Bengals trail the Denver Broncos 22-17. Third straight week where the Bengals find themselves in a similar situation. They came from behind in week 1 against the Jets. At that point, they only needed a field goal to take the lead. They got it. Last week against Pittsburgh, could not complete the rally. A fumble by Tyler Boyd was confirmed on replay, and they lost the ball. Pittsburgh got the win. They trail here by 5. Dalton on a toss to LaFell. LaFell lowers the helmet as he's hit by Talib. 7-yard pickup.
This is a design quarterback run. Watch the block here. That's Uzama. That's Latimer. But the key block is the one that's missed by Tyler Sambrillo on Sean Williams right there. If he makes that block, there's a chance that Simeon can get in the end zone.
2nd and 3 here for Cincinnati. Line of scrimmage, the Bengals 32. Bernard sets up behind Hewitt. Fake it. Dalton looking to create something, and now accepts that it's not going to happen and throws it away. It's 3rd down.
A real good job on the perimeter by Aqib Talib on Brandon LaFell. Only one receiver on that side of the field for Dalton as he rolled right, and Talib was all over him.
So a 3rd and 3 for Cincinnati. We have just over 6 minutes to go now in the 4th. Dalton, big numbers in the first 2 weeks. Modest numbers here this afternoon.
Yeah.
3rd and 3 for the Bengals. Dalton out of the gun. He fires it to the sideline. It's dropped. A.J. Green. The Bengals had 10 drops in the first 2 weeks, the most in the NFL, and that's a big one. Would have been a first down for Cincinnati.
Yeah, you just don't see A.J. Green drop passes that are right on target here. Had to reach back just slightly there in front of Bradley Roby, but pure drop. Took his eyes off the ball, looking for the defense.
Kevin Huber is on to punt it. First 3 and out of the day for the Bengals comes at the worst time. Norwood backpedaling, brings it in cleanly with a fair catch. The Denver Broncos have the lead, and they've got the football with 6:02 left in Cincy.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Progressive, handing off big savings to you. And by Subway Restaurants.
Denver in front here in Cincinnati. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and we here at CBS are partnering with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital to raise awareness for this very worthy cause, wearing pins and ties, honoring the work that they do down in Memphis. Awesome job today. NFL Today correspondent Austin Denton representing St. Jude's with his terrific one-on-one interview with Gary Kubiak. kudos to Austin, who's got a major future in the world of journalism. 6 minutes to go. Simeon, deep ball. He connects downfield with Hireman, the former Ohio State standout, in his NFL debut on the receiving end of a 28-yard strike from Simeon.
First catch of his NFL career for the Ohio State Buckeye, with a lot of fans in the stands, obviously. Perfectly thrown to Hireman by Simeon, as Simeon now has hit his last 8 in a row to 9 different receivers.
So the line of scrimmage is the 46. Simeon, second half, he has looked like a veteran, very poised out there leading Denver. Ground game, Anderson runs into a crowd, and he's dropped downstairs to Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, just to give you an idea, a lot of conversation about Simeon's demeanor before this game. Well, it's lived up to the billing. The guy I've seen on the sideline during this 8-for-8 stretch, the same one that was there in the first half when things at times weren't going well. A lot of time with Greg Knapp, quarterback's coach, who deserves a lot of credit for the help he's done in bringing Simeon along, guys.
And we talked to him about his relationship with Peyton Manning. Obviously observed him being in that quarterback's room last year. Peyton told Simeon, hey, I'm not going to bug you. I'm available. If you need me, I'm around. Simeon throws, incomplete. Thomas in a matchup with Adam Jones, and Jones, who takes chances, got in there against Demaryius Thomas to break it up.
And Jones is having troubles with a cramp now. It's a hot day down on that artificial surface. Tremendous break and read by Jones to break that one up, bringing up a 3rd and 10. We'll see how composed that Trevor Simeon will be on this time, as this pressure by the Bengals is getting closer and closer each down.
Chris Lewis Harris comes on the field with Jones now on the Cincinnati sideline. Big play on a 3rd and 11 with 4:32 to go. Denver up by 5. Simeon steps up. Simeon dials up the deep ball. Demaryius Thomas, he's got it! Touchdown! Demaryius Thomas breaks away from Lewis Harris. Trevor Simeon, 4th touchdown of the day. That one covers 55 yards. Major highlight for Simeon.
Well, the Bengals decided to put pressure on Simeon with the blitz. That exposed Chris Lewis Harris at 5'10", 185 to try and stay with the 6'3", 230-pound Demaryius Thomas. And this basically is a rebound by Thomas. Watch as he bodies Lewis Harris to the inside and reaches for the ball. Tight coverage by Lewis Harris, but not tight enough.
So the frustration was aired publicly this week. Sanders and Thomas both go over 100 yards. Sanders 117 on 9 catches. Thomas 100 yards, 6 receptions between them, 3 touchdowns. And Trevor Simeon 312 yards and 4 touchdowns on the day.
Well, and he's reading the defense. He sees the blitz, the pressure here, knows he has one-on-one coverage at the bottom of the screen. He said he wanted to give his teammates Sanders and Thomas a chance to make plays. He's done exactly that today. That's a heck of a reception by Thomas. Look at the concentration here by both players. Game of inches. Lewis Harris actually got his hand on the ball, but couldn't pull it out of the hands of Demaryius Thomas.
Trevor Simeon, yeah, that's about as excited as you'll see him. He is so even in his demeanor.
Well, what did C.J. Anderson say the first thing when we asked him yesterday in our meetings? What about this young quarterback? And he smiled a mile wide and said, he is one cool dude.
That tells you the story on Trevor Simeon. We asked him about the Cincinnati defense. He said, yeah, they've got unique blitz packages. They'll give you fits if you let it, but then he looked you in the eye and said, I like our game plan.
Kind of like it too.
Touchback, they'll have it at the 25. TV's #1 comedy is bigger than ever, and this week's show has something so top secret, all we can say is, well, it's big. Catch a new Big Bang Theory. That's tomorrow at 8, 7 Central, only CBS. The piece of advice that Manning gave Simeon. He said, look, don't change who you are. Be you. Don't try to be something that you're not. Don't change based on the situation. Well, he becomes a starting quarterback. He's the same guy. Dalton now with his team down by 12. Knocked up in the air, and it's intercepted. The wheels have come off. Will Parks with the pick.
Now T.J. Ward with the breakup that time. Injured his neck in the first half, but has played through that pain, and he breaks on this pass. An easy pickoff. After the ball's up in the air, here is T.J. Ward. Dalton trying to squeeze it into Uzama, and there's the easy pick by Will Parks, the rookie out of Arizona. This is absolutely one of the best feelings for a quarterback on the road. It's called empty the stadium time. People are heading for the parking lot.
Trevor Siemian and the Denver Broncos are 4 minutes and 17 seconds away from a 3-0 start. Handoff. Anderson carries Pecco with him for an extra yard. Give him a gain of a couple on first down and a timeout called. Stops the clock with 4:12 remaining. Now for Andy Dalton and the Bengals. They felt it was a winnable game last week. They lost in Pittsburgh 24-16. Criticism has been that they have been one-dimensional. They were a bit one-dimensional today. It just happened to be the other dimension. The running game, they got going early. They never got the air attack.
They didn't have the balance. It seemed like they were heavy run in the first half, heavy pass in the second half, and they had a long drive to get some points on the board, but Denver answered it with a very long drive, took a lot of time off the clock. How much more can you say about Trevor Siemian? Phenomenal performance here on the road. First time on the road for him.
He was the last quarterback taken in the 2015 draft. Anderson cuts it to the outside. Picks up a yard and a half. Hunt will get credit for the stop. And another timeout called with 4:07 to play in the fourth quarter.
Now this has been the outstanding day for Trevor Siemian. This 41-yard bomb to Emmanuel Sanders. Then he gets Sanders down in the red zone for a touchdown. The firing then again in the red zone. So the combination of converting when they're down there touchdowns instead of field goals, and also loosening up the defense, reading the man-to-man coverage and taking advantage. The last one, the bomb to Demaryius Thomas.
Well, John Elway, who has pushed all the right buttons for this franchise, the executive vice president of football operations. If Denver gets the win here, the Broncos will be 69-26 since Elway took the job.
Yeah, he was a good quarterback too, I heard.
Do we have video? Anderson is wrapped up. Marcus Hunt, first man there. And Will Clark also involved in the stop for Cincinnati. It'll be back-to-back weeks of question marks. It's a Cincinnati team that is not just thinking playoffs this year. They're thinking that they could win the whole enchilada. Defending AFC North champions, but they entered the day looking up in the standings in the division with Pittsburgh and Baltimore at 2-0 entering the week. They made the playoffs 5 straight years, but that's 5 straight losses in the wild card round. Cincinnati had won 4 straight home openers. Last year they beat San Diego here at Paul Brown Stadium 24-19 to open up their home schedule. Remember, they started last season 8-0. If they lose here, they will drop to 5-7 in their 12 games since that 8-0 start. The punt from Riley Dixon, 3:55 to play in the fourth. Coming up for Cincinnati, the quick turnaround against the Miami Dolphins on Thursday. Game you can see on NFL Network. And then at Dallas, at New England, home for Cleveland. And there is John Elway. Denver just assumed that Brock Osweiler would be the guy once Peyton Manning retired. Didn't happen that way, as Osweiler took a big contract for the Houston Texans.
Elway really showing he's got the right touch, doesn't he, with personnel?
Dalton with his team down by 12. Throws it underneath. Bernard gets stamped on the play by Darian Stewart.
And a good legal hit by Darian Stewart, who's been fined the last 2 weeks for hits to the head on quarterbacks. That time he just blew up Bernard after the catch.
Hit on Cam Newton week 1. Hit on Andrew Luck last week. Working quickly here with 3.5 left. Sidestepping some trouble, and Dalton darts it to the sideline with a flag thrown.
Yeah, they're going to get Cedric Ogbuehi for holding on Von Miller.
Holding. Offense number 61. 10-yard penalty replay. Second down.
Yeah, they're going to call Russell Bodine the center, but Ogbuehi had all he could do to keep Von Miller from hitting Andy Dalton. But backwards they go again.
Oof. Ogbuehi didn't have much choice. We asked Von Miller about Simeon a year ago. Could he visualize this? He went, no. I didn't expect that Trevor Simeon would be the starter. Dalton throws, handled by A.J. Green downfield at the 35. Will Parks with the hit. Miller said it just shows you how unpredictable this league is. That Simeon really wasn't a factor. He was running some scout team last year when Manning was injured. But for the most part, he didn't see it. Others on offense may have, but Miller did not. C.J. Uzomah on the receiving end of a 9-yard pickup. Harris and Stewart combined. We're down to 2:50 to play in this fourth quarter. It's 29-17 Denver.
It's all about opportunities, and what do you do with it when you get it? And couldn't be off to a better start than Simeon has had in the first 3.
Dalton to Tyler Boyd. Dalton padding his numbers here in the fourth quarter, and Cincinnati trying to make this one interesting. That's a 9-yard pickup, 164 yards through the air for Andy Dalton. Cincinnati is out of timeouts and a flag thrown. Penalties piling up.
False start. Offense number 18. 5-yard penalty. First down.
False start on A.J. Green. That's 9 penalties for 69 yards against the Bengals.
Marvin trying to get his ball players on the line of scrimmage here. They went back to the huddle.
Dalton pump and throw. Wide open. He hits Brandon LaFell 27 yards downfield. Clock is moving. We're down to 2:05 to play. Cincinnati trying to get situated here. They're not going to beat the clock. We hit the 2-minute warning here in Cincinnati. The Bengals are in a 12-point hole. The Denver Broncos poised to move to 3-0 on a young season. Getting it done in Ohio. Marvin Lewis is very familiar with the Gary Kubiak scheme going back to his Houston days, and then when Kubiak was running the offense in Baltimore under John Harbaugh. Kubiak's had a lot of success against the Cincinnati Bengals. And can add another win to the total with Denver in front 29-17. Dalton under 2 minutes to play, running with it, slides. They're going to mark him down at the 21. That's a 4-yard gain for Dalton. That's now 40 yards rushing for Andy Dalton.
At some point, he's just going to have to throw the ball into the end zone and give A.J. Green a chance, or Tyler Kroft.
Dalton gets out of it. Little shovel pass to Giovanni Bernard. And he's out of bounds with 1:34 to go in the fourth. Chased out by Brandon Marshall.
Well, Von Miller still looking for his first sack of the afternoon. It's real close here. It's a hand on Dalton. And Dalton ducks under it and finds Bernard. Bernard wisely ran to the sideline.
Got a quick score, onside kick. Stranger things have happened, but have to get the touchdown first. Dalton steps up, and he's hit. Shane Ray riding along with the quarterback as Dalton tried to gain some more yards on the ground, and it's a loss of 3.
Yeah, 3.
Shotgun for Dalton. There he is, Von Miller, coming off the edge.
Yeah, it's a quarterback's nightmare when you got a great player like Von Miller, knowing all he has to do is rush the passer here. For some reason, Obuehi was looking inside. You just can't do that against a speed rusher like Von Miller.
On 3rd and long, Dalton darts it out to Giovanni Bernard and did not get out of bounds. We're down to 36 seconds left. And fortunately for Cincinnati, a Denver player is slow to get up, or that clock would have continued to roll, and it's Brandon Marshall. Marshall is laid out.
Marshall had to run a long way to track down Giovanni Bernard along with Harris.
Now, Harris made the tackle on Bernard. Marshall was the second man in. He just went down awkwardly. Marshall's up on his feet, and he's being escorted to the other side of the field, the Denver sideline. He has emerged as a major part of this Denver
reset
defense.
The game clock based on the injury to 33 seconds. 33 seconds on the game clock based on the injury.
He's become a tackling machine for this Denver D, signed to a 4-year, $32 million deal. It's 4th down for Cincinnati. 33 seconds left. Broncos 29, Bengals 17. Denver trying to finish it off right now on defense.
Middle 5-1, middle 5-1.
On 4th down, need a touchdown here. Dalton, rush coming. Dalton pumps, throws, too high, and that's it. Tyler Boyd, the intended receiver. Denver can take a knee and walk out of here with a victory, quieting the jungle. Teams that start 3-0 make the playoffs 76% of the time, and Denver will be 3-0.
And there's no Super Bowl champion hangover, is there?
Nope.
I mean, this is as good a start as you can expect, having beaten Cam Newton at Carolina, then Andrew Luck, and now beaten Cincinnati on the road. And a favorable schedule the next half a dozen.
Tampa Bay coming up, Atlanta as well, San Diego. The Denver Broncos off to another fantastic start. The Broncos win it in Cincinnati, 29-17. Trevor Siemian in his first road game as the starting quarterback, 312 yards and 4 touchdowns to lead the Broncos offense. Cincinnati drops to 1-2 on the season. Back-to-back losses to Pittsburgh and to Denver. 2 100-yard receivers, Sanders and Thomas, both crack 100. Denver off to a 3-0 start. After winning the Super Bowl, no Peyton Manning. They lost some major players on defense, Malik Jackson and Danny Trevathan. But the Broncos continue to produce. That'll do it from here. Let's go to New York and JB.